So have you ever been in a situation where there's been some pressure, some tension, and you tried to create some relief, but your efforts only made a bad situation worse? Been there, done that. Stay with me for the next few moments as we look into some ways so we can avoid doing that and we do not make bad situations even worse. This is Fresh Air for Life. Let's go get it. Hey friends, welcome back once again to Fresh Air for Life. I'm Anthony D. Crawford. So glad that you're joining me again for this video. And my plan is to get some fresh air into your life this week. Now, if these videos bring any value to your life, be sure to hit the subscribe button, leave me some comments, give me a thumbs up, share it with friends, and be sure to look for me again on next week. Now, last week I introduced a topic, they're really called overreacting is costly. Now, I want you to be sure, if you didn't see that, go back and catch that video because you need to put that one together with this one. Put it there first, though. Look at it first, and then come back and see this one, and I believe it will help you tremendously. Now, here's one thing I've come to learn about overreactions, that overreactions tend to occur in moments of desperation. If you don't watch it, we wind up making some choices and decisions that wind up making a bad situation much worse. And we want to avoid that at all costs. Now, history is full of a lot of great stories of triumph, as well as a lot of horrific, stories of tragedy and the like. And there's two in particular that come to my mind. One, if you're familiar with a gentleman, his name was Lot. He was Abraham's nephew. Abraham, who's referenced, in the Bible. And Lot has a situation where, of course, he gets taken out of a city that gets destroyed and the like. And it's he, his wife, and his two daughters that are escaping from the city. His wife obviously passes, in the process. That's a whole nother story. But they get off to a place where Lot and his daughters are now living in the mountains. And the girls, his daughters, come up with an interesting story. They are so overwhelmed now in the desperation of the moment, and they feel as if, there's now no more men because they were married, but their husbands now were lost, in Sodom, that they come up with the idea that we're going to get our father drunk, intoxicated, have sex with him so that we can both have children by him. Man. You're talking about making a bad situation worse. I get it. They're living, in the mountains. It looks like there's no men around, right now. But that certainly was not the way to try to get relief. That caused some pain for numerous generations to come. Another particular story is that the children of Israel are having a hard time in this a real hard economic time. There's a famine going on, and food is scarce, to say the least. And there's two mothers that are together. One mother approaches the other and says, hey, look, why don't we take some time and we'll boil your son and eat him today. And now in the next days or so, then we'll eat mine. And so now they actually do that. Can you believe it? The one woman says, okay, submits her child, for that. They eat the child. And then now when it came time, they're hungry again. The other woman hid her child. And they take the matter to the king, and the king, he rips his clothes in mourning and despair because he can't believe, what has happened. And now they try to get some relief, but they just made a bad situation much, much worse. And in that woman's situation in particular, think about it. She had to now live the rest of her life knowing that she killed her child and ate her child. And here, is another, factor that is so devastating in this story is that roughly 24 hours later, the whole economic environment of the nation changed. They could have had as much food as they liked. Don't make a bad situation worse. I know in my own life, I've done some things like that. I remember, making a purchase of a vehicle one time, and I shouldn't have bought it. I know I shouldn't have bought it. It made absolutely no sense. Took money, put down on it. I just wanted it. I just felt like I deserved a pickup truck. So I went and bought this thing. And now it became an economic, hardship to me, making the payments and so on and so forth. So I decided to go to the bank to talk to them to see, hey, can I get some relief from this? And they're like, oh, sure, Mr. Crawford, we'll be glad to help you. We'll refinance things so that your monthly, payment is lower. Well, yeah, that gave me a little bit of relief, but guess what? After they refinanced it, I was up to like almost 27% interest. Don't laugh at me. This is my, shame, that I have to bear on that. I made a bad situation much, much worse. You and I have to be cautious not to do that. In moments of desperation, don't give in to what may just simply bring quick relief. Now, let me give you 3 things to keep in mind on this. Number 1, when you're in those moments of desperation, do not panic. Number 2, do not get yourself over or allow yourself to go over into self-pity and this, oh, woe is me. Nobody understands what I'm going through. Listen, if you're singing that song, stop it. Because that is not truth. And it's only making your situation that may be bad right now, it's making it much, much worse. And then finally, the 3rd thing is don't complain. Don't get into the situation now and start, oh, my goodness, why is this happening? Why is that happening? Listen, worrying and complaining are not going to change a thing. They only make bad situations that much worse. So remember that. Don't panic. Don't give in to self-pity and do not complain. All these things can wind up clouding your judgment and causing you and me to make a bad situation much, much worse. Here's the key. Be sure to capture God's heart for your life. God says this. He says, I know my thoughts towards you, thoughts of peace, not of evil, to bring you an expected end, an end full of expectation. God says, my thoughts towards you are always thoughts of shalom, is what that means there. Nothing missing, nothing broken, nothing out of place. And when you lock in and focus on those things, it'll help keep you stable in the midst of the storm so that you don't overreact and make a bad situation worse. Remember, if these videos are bringing any value to you, hit the subscribe button. Make sure that you do the alerts so that you know when every new video drops. Be sure to give me a thumbs up, leave some comments, share with family, friends, and look for me on next week. This is Fresh Air for Life. I'm Anthony D. Crawford. I'll see you soon. Bye.